All right, so let's get into it. The Firefly Blue Ghost lunar landing. This mission, it really cut through all the noise in the space news, right?
Absolutely. There's so much chatter out there, but when you peel back the layers, it's all about how this landing sets a precedent in commercial space exploration.
Right, it's like, a melting pot of sources, space news outlets, financial headlines, even social media debates. And each one gives us a different slice of the story.
Yeah, exactly. So start us off. What's the big picture here?
Okay, first, the landing itself was historic. Blue Ghost, Firefly's first lunar lander, successfully touched down on March 2nd, 2025, at a site called Mary Chrism, a vast dark lava-filled plain near Mons La Trail. This isn't your ordinary lunar surface. It's basically ancient solidified lava, a super flat stretch that's ideal for a safe landing.
That's incredible. I mean, imagine a giant impact crater turned into a launch pad for innovation.
Absolutely. And check this out. They launched Blue Ghost on January 15th, 2025, right from Pad 39A at Cape Canaveral. You know, that very same pad from the Apollo era. It's like connecting the dots between the old and the new in space exploration.
Yeah, I love that historical tie-in. And the whole mission profile, 45 days to the moon, an autonomous landing, all done with precision maneuvering jets. It's quite something.
Yeah, exactly. The landing sequence is fascinating. First, the main engine cuts off, then it transitions to a terminal guidance phase where tiny bursts from the reaction control system make those fine adjustments. No ground joystick here. It's all sensor-driven,
Right on.
real-time adjustments.
It really shows the level of sophistication in autonomous control systems. But I have to ask, don't you think relying solely on sensors makes it a bit risky?
That's a fair question. However, the system is designed with multiple redundancies. Plus, when you analyze it, using a pre-programmed algorithm supplemented by real-time data is actually reducing human error.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, that makes sense. It's a calculated risk with loads of safety nets. Now, let's talk about the lander itself, the Blue Ghost. What's its deal?
For sure. The Blue Ghost is modest in size, roughly 6.5 feet tall and 11.5 feet wide. But what's really cool is that Firefly built it using off-the-shelf components that have proven metrics from previous missions. It's smart, keeps the cost low and the risks controlled.
Off-the-shelf components, huh? That challenges the conventional need for bespoke designs in space tech. Personally, I always thought custom was king in these scenarios.
I actually respectfully see it differently. When you mix veteran expertise with clever cost cutting, you get technology that's both resilient and innovative. I mean, they even studied mistakes from, say, the Israeli Bearish sheet lander that faltered and then improved upon that design.
Yeah, exactly. That's a smart move. Learning from past failures. And how about power and payload? That's always a major factor on the moon.
Definitely. Blue Ghost carries over 400 watts of power, enough to run a small apartment, and can haul up to 240 kilograms of cargo. That's plenty of room for scientific instruments.
Right. Let's dive into those payloads. It wasn't just about landing, it was also a science mission, right?
Spot on. It carried 10 NASA instruments as part of the CLPS initiative, Commercial Lunar Payload Services. Among these, there was one called Lister, which measures the moon's temperature at the subsurface level, and Luge-Yore, a lunar GNSS receiver that, get this, picked up GPS and Galileo signals from Earth even at 246,000 miles away.
GPS from the moon? That's almost like having a phone signal from, another planet. Well, not exactly another planet, but you know what I mean?
Right, it's groundbreaking. And then there's Escal PSS, which uses stereo cameras to capture 3D images of the dynamics when the rocket plume interacts with the lunar dust. Dust, oh man, that familiar nuisance.
Exactly, dust is a beast. And speaking of dust, what about that electrodynamic dust shield? That sounds like something out of sci-fi, a force field against lunar dust.
Exactly. Developed at Kennedy Space Center, the EDS works by using electric fields to repel the fine, abrasive dust that normally clings to everything in that low-gravity environment. It's a game changer, whether for keeping solar panels clear or even for keeping spacesuits from turning into walking dust magnets.
That's seriously cool. And aside from dust management, there's a whole bundle of instruments, like the magnetotelluric sounder that dives into the moon's interior, and those next generation lunar retroreflectors for precision laser ranging.
Yeah. Plus, there's Lexi, which takes X ray pictures to study interactions between the solar wind and Earth's magnetic field. RADPC, a radiation hardened computer test, LPV for collecting regolith samples, and oh, the poetic Astrovault, a time capsule of human culture for the future.
That's a veritable treasure trove of science. And all this data is going to feed back into both immediate applications and long term lunar exploration strategies.
Exactly, it's like this mission is a launch pad for the next big steps in space, and it has implications for NASA's Artemis program pushing towards permanent bases, resource mining like helium 3 extraction, and even using the moon as a stepping stone for Mars missions.
Right. And not to mention, all this innovation is also sparking massive financial interest. Wall Street is buzzing, a real sign that space is now on the investment map.
Absolutely. Financial analysts are calling it a turning point, a gateway that could unleash billions in investments. It's a blend of government, private enterprise, and scientific ambition all rolling into one.
Yeah, true. And socially, there's been a huge buzz on platforms like Reddit. The discussions range from technical insights to debates on the ethics and costs of space exploration.
Right, and that's part of what makes this so fascinating, the public engagement. The social media chatter gives a real time pulse on how people are processing these new developments. People are excited, but there's also concern about neglecting Earth's issues or the environmental impact on the lunar surface.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. The excitement is palpable, yet there's a level of caution. It's like watching the dawn of a new era, with all the promise and potential pitfalls that come with it.
Exactly. And let's not forget the subtle drama during the landing. A little hiccup with the contact lights. Initially, only 3 out of 4 lit up, causing a momentary scare, but it turned out to be just a graphics glitch at mission control.
Right, Shu. That must have had everyone on the edge of their seats watching the live stream.
Oh, definitely. I mean, when that final photo came through, with the lander's sharp shadow cast against the lunar landscape and Earth barely visible as a blue dot, it really hit home how far we've come and how far we're going.
It's poetic in a way. There's even talk of a lunar horizon glow, where the dust catches the sunlight and glows after sunset, a phenomenon some Apollo astronauts mentioned. Imagine if Blue Ghost captured that.
That would be something truly mesmerizing. It's like nature's own light show on the moon, a subtle reminder of both beauty and challenge in these harsh environments.
Yeah, that's wild. Before we wrap up, tell me, what's the one key takeaway for everyone listening?
It's basically this. Firefly's successful landing of Blue Ghost as a commercial mission marks the beginning of a new era in space exploration. It's not just about reaching the moon, but about creating a sustainable, innovative, and collaborative framework for the future. A lunar economy and potentially permanent human presence on our celestial neighbor.
Exactly. So, what excites you most about this new chapter? Is it the technology, the scientific data, or maybe that promise of collaboration between the old school space agencies and modern private ventures?
For me, it's all of the above. The blending of historical legacy with cutting edge technology, the potential for scientific breakthroughs, and the way it opens up funding and new ideas for future missions. And honestly, it reminds us that we're all in this grand adventure together, pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Absolutely. That's a wrap then. Keep pondering those big questions, and remember, space is not just the final frontier, it's where our future begins.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. Until next time, keep looking up and never stop questioning what lies beyond.